Hello everybody, it's Optitron Prime here, back with another video review. And the subject of today's review will be the Transformers Earthrise Walgreens exclusive Deluxe Class Bluestreak. Now I've got to tell you straight up, like I said with Smokescreen, I love this mold. It's a very, very good mold. And definitely got that Earth mode feel to it that it should have. Whereas the Siege mold, which I have got a couple of down here, will show off more of a Cybertronian look. And I just love the differences excuse me, between the two molds. So we're getting real close here. Take a look at some of his details. Now this one, in my opinion, is better than the Smokescreen because the roof gap is not as noticeable on this one. So I really appreciate that. I don't know if I've done something wrong on Smokescreen or if some of the tabs and tolerances are just a little bit off or something, but this one, as far as the gap, is so much more smooth. And maybe when Prowl eventually shows up, because he's not here yet, I'll talk more about that in a minute, we'll see how his roof gap is. But you can see that he's got 3 guns that each can come off. And but I prefer weapon storage because I don't want to lose them. He's got nice silver painted rims. These are clip-on wheels, but he rolls like a dream. Like I said, silver rims. I appreciate that bit of paint there. They molded in the gas tank door, which I appreciate. Nice red painted tail lights and a black stripe on his back. I really dig that. Nice spoiler. I love the spoiler on this mold. I don't know if Prowl's going to have one because I haven't seen him yet. But around the other side again, you've got the silver rims. And overall, just a really nice gray, almost brown color, but on his main body, and the black roof, of course, and the black hood. I just love the style and the curvature of this vehicle mode. And nice black bumper, as you can see there. And the bottom is kind of folded up robot, but I don't know anybody that displays their figures like this. So for me, vehicle mode like that, you can't tell, other than the Autobot symbol. Anywho, for some vehicle mode size comparisons, here he is with Siege, Prowl, and as you can see, I was talking about the mold differences. This is definitely more Cybertronian influence with the markings and the clear tires, and it's just got a really Cybertronian feel to it. Where this definitely has an Earth mode feel to it, and I really appreciate the care and attention that Hasbro put into making these molds different. I can always appreciate that. That's not just a lazy repaint or whatever. Not that I mind repaints. I like repaints. But sometimes I just love mold differentiation. And I really dig it here. So there he is with Prowl. Here he is with Earthrise, our Generation Selects Hubcap. Which is the Cliff Jumper mold. So it's naturally going to be a little bit smaller. And I do have Bug Bite, actually. I will take a look at Hubcap as well as Bug Bite in the future. But just so everyone knows, I do have Bug Bite. He's a very cool figure. I love Bug Bite. It's basically the Cliff Jumper mold with a bumblebee head, but I don't mind it. It's unique, it's different, and I like it. So anyway, here's with Hubcap. Here he is with Siege, Mirage. A Mirage is a little bit, just a little, well, nose to nose. Mirage edges him out just a little bit in the back with the whole faux piece back there. But I like these two guys together. Actually, I haven't seen this yet until today, but I kind of like these guys together. Now, obviously, this is not from Earthrise, so he'd be more Cybertronian. Well, this is Earth-based, but they look good together. And here he is with a random comparison. I love doing random comparisons. Here he is with Studio Series Leadfoot. And Leadfoot looks to be just barely longer than him. A little bit more squat to the ground. Of course, this is a sleek race car, and this is more of a, not really a sports car, but anywho, I don't know much about cars, so you have to forgive me. I don't know as much as a lot of people do. But there he is with Studio Series Leadfoot. And that's just about it for his vehicle mode, I guess. Like I said, I love the way it looks, and can't wait to have all three Earthrise Dotson brothers together as soon as Prowl gets here. So we'll go ahead and get into the transformation. Let me make a little room here so I can reach around the camera. It's definitely interesting when you're just sitting in your chair or wherever, holding a figure in front of you. It's a lot easier to transform it than it is when you're sitting behind the camera, but we will give this a shot. I'll go ahead and remove this gun from his roof. I like to leave these two guns here because they end up on his shoulders in robot mode where they should be, so no point in removing them if you're just going to put them back in the same spot where they were. They don't get in the way of anything, so I just leave them where they are. But the transformation is the same as smoke screen. So if you have smoke screen, you know what you're getting into with this guy. Go ahead and open the doors and pull the arms out and splay them, and come to these red sections. And I don't hardly have fingernails, so this will be interesting to do. There it goes. And once one's out, you can generally get in there after the other one, and then pull the back section down and pull it all the way out. And at this point I like to go ahead and rotate it just to get that out of the way. Split the legs and bring down this little red panel inside. Kind of fills out some of the hollowness. It doesn't take care of all of it, but I mean, really, who's going to display their figures like this? So you're not going to notice the hollowness from the front. And I dig the fact that they've molded this window to have like grooves in it to where you can't necessarily see through it as good as a pure clear window. I really appreciate that. So they tried to make the hollowness back there harder to see from the front. I can always appreciate that. So good job, Hasbro. But moving on, I want to push the middle of the hood down. There we go. It pushes from the back. Sometimes I forget. And I like to go ahead and rotate his head 180 degrees at this point, and then bring the hood down over it. Now, like I said with smoke screen, you got to be really careful how you do this so it'll all line up correctly. These tabs right here, you can see those, are going to go in front of all of this right here. And that's the only way it will line up just right to tab in everything. And this little tab, if you can see it right there, is going to tab into, there's a slot right there cut in. That's going to lock into, and you will feel it. You might not necessarily hear it, but you will feel it. And then there are tabs. Those same tabs are going to tab into slots on his armpits. And that came out. Sorry for that. You might have to hold him. I know it's awkward, but you might have to hold him like this while you're doing it. And then just, once the arms are tabbed in, make sure the wheels are facing back, bring his arm down. And I like to bend the elbows. Just a personal thing for me. You don't have to if you don't want to, but it's just something I do. And once that's done, there you have the Earthrise Bluestreak in his robot mode. And I know I keep praising this mold, but I absolutely love it. I absolutely dig it. I'm going to go ahead and put his gun in his hand here if I can find it. There we are. Hey, get in there. Get in there. Fiddly, aren't we? Sometimes when you're messing with him, things will come untabbed, but you're not breaking him. You're just disengaging some tabbed in sections. Very easy to fix. And if it bothers you so much, you might want to thicken up the tab under there with some glue or something, but be very careful with that because you might over thicken it and risk breaking something, and then there goes your figure. And this being a Walgreens exclusive, not only is it more expensive, but it's extremely hard to find. I had to get this guy on eBay because I went to 3 or 4 different Walgreens, couldn't find him. He is not an easy figure to find. So thank God for eBay. Excuse me, I promise I'm fine. The cold weather kind of brings up some phlegm. But I promise you I'm fine. So anyway, we'll get in close here. Take a look at some of his details, which aren't that much different from vehicle mode, but some nice molded in stuff on his shoulders there. I always praise Hasbro for molding details in that they didn't have to. And I'm sorry if that gets old to some of you, but for me it's just they're going the extra mile, and you can't really complain about that. Or at least I don't. And some nice molded in stuff on his thighs there. Some stuff in here. And yeah, that came untabbed again. I don't know what the deal with this is. It tabs in, but it wants to untab more easily, I think, than Smokescreen does. But there is that. And articulation wise on this guy, the head can do a full 360. I promise you it can. It's just really tight, which I can appreciate. I can always appreciate a tight joint so it doesn't feel loose and wobble about. And this is going to annoy me. So I'm sorry if I start getting angry with this guy. He's just not wanting to stay together. Arms can do a full 360. Go in and out, and this will come untabbed. It's not a very secure connection. Got a bicep rotation that's very tight. 90 degrees of elbow bend, or maybe about 100 degrees. The fists do rotate, and this keeps coming untabbed. I don't know what the deal is. I'm afraid to thicken it up because I don't want to over thicken it and risk breaking my figure. But the waist can do a full 360. Hips forward that far. He can kick himself in his own chest. And back. Bluestreak, are we going to have problems? Back that far where he kicks himself in his own roof. Yep, he pulls a first movie jazz sometimes. It's just a mushroom peg, nothing big. Easy to slide back in. He can do the splits. He's got a big joint on his knee thanks to transformation. And he's got some ankle tilt. And the feet can move this way. Although that might make him a little bit harder to stand. So I just kind of leave him in a static position. For once that didn't come untabbed. I'm very impressed that it decided to stay tabbed in. So for comparison, we'll start with this guy here. Here he is with a figure that I don't know how many people actually like, but I do. You can see him kind of already. Studio Series Cliff Jumper. And man, Cliff Jumper is smaller than certainly I thought. I had his hips backwards. Let me mess with him off camera just a little bit. I had him kind of in an awkward angle on his body, so I apologize for that. There he is with him, and he is very small. I haven't seen a lot of these comparisons until I'm doing them right now, so my reactions are real, I promise you. Man, he's tiny, but I like it. For those who don't like it, fine. You're allowed not to like things, but I like this figure. And of course, I really like who he's a remold of. That being the Jeep Bumblebee. And now it's been revealed that we're getting a yellow repaint of this into Bumblebee as B127. So we kind of all saw that coming. I know I did. And I'm looking forward to getting it. As well as the Dino. Now, I don't want to get too much into the whole licensing thing, but I'm looking forward to getting Dino. And the Bumblebee movie Starscream is kind of really, I would get it more for the robot mode than anything else. So we'll see whether I get that or not. But the B-127 and the Dino I'm looking forward to. So there's with Cliff Jumper. Here he is with who has quickly become my favorite figure of Earthrise Wave 3. Here he is with Run Amok. And he's going to get a review very soon. I don't know if he'll be first, but after this guy, I'm going to review Earthrise Wave 3. The Deluxes anyway, because that's all I've got. But I do have the Quintesson Judge as part of the Pit of Judgment set, but we'll take a look at that as the Pit of Judgment. And I haven't found Megatron yet. But I love, love, love this mold, and I can't wait for Runabout. I have him on pre-order from Target, so hopefully they won't cancel that. And I'll have my first set of Runabout and Runamuck. This is my first Runamuck figure I've ever had. But Runamuck's a little bit shorter, and that's okay. I still love him, and I will praise him. I will praise this figure until I can't remember his name, because I love this guy. Here he is with his previous self, the Siege version. And maybe Earthrise is a bit taller. My camera angle is making it kind of hard to see him. My tripod doesn't go up and down. It's more of on a ball joint. So my angle is definitely off. But it looks like the Earthrise version is just a little bit taller. But I do have a lot of love for both of these molds. I prefer this one, but I really like this one. So there he is with his old self. And finally, here he is with his brother. If I can get him all straightened out here. Here he is with Smokescreen. And he's still not wanting to look right. I really, really dig this. Now, Prowl, I'm guessing, is going to look more like this, while Smokescreen has more of a different style of bumper to him, but that's what made him different in G1, and that's what makes him different here. And I really love it. You can see the heads are basically, I can get a little bit closer on those heads. The sculpts are at least very similar. And I can appreciate that. Actually, no, they're completely different sculpts. Now that I haven't looked at this up close. So, yeah, this completely different head sculpts. I'm guessing Prowl's head sculpt will be more like this guy than this one. But there he is with his brother. Fine. Take a short nap. I don't care. You're going to stand up sometime. But having said all that, my final thoughts on this guy. I said it was Smokescreen. I'll say it again. I love this figure. Oh, we'll do one more random comparison. See, I look around and I see this, a lot of stuff here that I could compare it with. One final comparison here he is with Siege Ratchet. Because I love this mold. I have him, I have Ironhide, and I have Crosshairs somewhere. I think I just found him. Yep. Here's Crosshairs. Move Ratchet out of the way here. Here's Crosshairs. And he'll be getting a review as well. Once I'm finished with the Earthrise Wave 3 reviews, all 4 of the Deluxes, I will move on to probably some Siege stuff. I'll be doing more random reviews than anything, I guess, but here he is with that mold. And so my final thoughts on this guy excellent version of the Bluesteak character. I don't have a lot of Bluestreaks. I have an alternators version missing some pieces. I've got, of course, the Siege version, and I've got a Masterpiece one, and I've got this one. So I dig where Earthrise is going, or has gone, because Kingdom is starting to come in now. And maybe pretty soon, courtesy of a friend of mine, I'll bring you a Kingdom review, because I do have a Kingdom figure on the way from a friend of mine, and I will share his name when the figure gets to me. But anyone on YouTube that knows toy reviewers is going to know this guy. And I might tell a story of how we met when I'm reviewing that figure, but stay tuned for that when it gets here. Should be one day this week or sometime next week. Next time I talk to him, I'll ask him about it. So I've got 3 figures on the way from him that I bought from him. But anyway, as far as this mold goes, I love it. Can't wait to have Prowl. Amazon has delayed my Ironhide and Prowl set, and I hope they don't cancel it like they did the cone heads. I had to go on eBay to get the cone heads, and I hate paying scalper prices on eBay, but when you really want certain figures and the place that it's exclusive to says, sorry, we ran out, you don't have much of a choice. So can't wait to have Prowl, and of course Ironhide, so I can compare him with the Siege version and see that with my own eyes. But love this mold, love both versions of it that I have. Can't wait to have Prowl to complete the Dotson brothers. But I want to thank you all for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever it is you want to do. If you have any questions, comment them below, and I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. But this has been my review of the Transformers Earthrise Walgreens exclusive Deluxe Class Bluestreak. And this is Optitron Prime saying, roll out.